before the scar, before the prophecy, before the world learned to fear a single name, there was just a boy in a cold room who had already decided that the rest of us were beneath him. This is the story of how the darkest wizard who ever lived was made, and it does not start with a war. It starts with a loveless marriage. Meet a family almost no one remembers, the Gaunts. They could trace their blood all the way back to Salazar Slytherin himself, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. But by now that proud line had collapsed into poverty, cruelty, and obsession. Generations of marrying only within their own circle, all to keep the blood pure, had left them unstable and clinging to a single source of pride, the belief that their blood made them better than everyone around them. Into this family was born a girl named Merope, and Merope was miserable, bullied by her own father and brother, treated as worthless. She had almost nothing. What she had was a hopeless love for a wealthy muggle named Tom Riddle, a man who under any normal circumstances would never have looked at her twice. So she made him. When her family was taken away by the law, Merope used magic to force Tom Riddle to fall in love with her. Most versions of the story point to a love potion, a man whose feelings were never his own. They married, she became pregnant, and then Merope made a fatal choice. She stopped the enchantment, hoping that by now he might love her on his own. He did not. The moment the spell lifted, Tom Riddle walked out. He abandoned his pregnant wife without a second thought and returned to his old life as if none of it had happened. Heartbroken and destitute, Merope wandered to London with nowhere to go. And on the last night of the year, she arrived at the door of a Muggle orphanage to give birth to a son. She lived just long enough to name him. But here is the detail that changes everything. Merope was a witch. She could have used magic to survive, to stay alive for her child. She chose not to. So the boy began his life exactly as his story would end, surrounded by people and completely alone. She chose to die rather than stay. And in part 2, we find out what that choice did to the boy she left behind.